Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the New York Jets Weekly Report. I'm your host, Drew Jets, and today we're going over all the Jets news that happened from April 23rd to April 29th. So without any hesitation, let's go ahead and talk about it. So let's start off with the re-signing of center Connor McGovern. By now, we all know who Connor McGovern is. He's been our starting center over the past 3 years. And over those 3 years, Connor McGovern was a good run blocker, a solid pass protector, and only missed 2 games for us as well. He's just an overall all-right center. But the crazy part about this McGovern re-signing is his contract. He re-signed to the New York Jets on a 1-year deal worth only $1.9 million. The money is the crazy part for me because over the past 3 years with the New York Jets, he was making $9 million a year. So the fact that he's taken this much of a reduced salary, almost $7 million, is just absolutely insane. It just shows to how the center market did not play out for McGovern at all this off season. He definitely could have been a center on any other team in the NFL. Not any other team, because of course there are better centers than Connor McGovern, but he definitely could be a starter on multiple teams in the NFL. So the fact that he's probably going to be a backup for the New York Jets this year is just mind-boggling to me. But great that Connor McGovern is back with the Jets. The Aaron Rodgers trade also finally got completed on Monday. We got the notifications that Aaron Rodgers is now officially a New York Jet on Wednesday. He had his press conference, and this trade is finally done. It happened before the draft. The wait is finally over, and by now we probably know what the compensation was, but if not, here's what the New York Jets gave up and what we received. So we got Aaron Rodgers, the 15th pick and the 170th pick in this year's NFL draft, while the Packers got the 13th pick, the 42nd pick, the 207th pick in this year's draft, and a 2024 second-round pick that turns into a first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of the New York Jets snaps this season. Now, what I didn't now, and of course, if you want to break down other compensation, it's linked right above my head, but what I didn't talk about is his press conference, and there's a lot he said, and I could be here for 30 minutes just talking about Aaron Rodgers' press conferences with the New York Jets and the New York media, but here's some of the main takeaways from them. Starting off with the fact that Aaron Rodgers just really wants to be a New York Jet. He referred to the Jets as we multiple times in his interviews. He said he wants to be here for the foreseeable future. So no 1-year rental with Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be here for at least the remainder of his contract and maybe even some, which is absolutely great to see. We're giving up all this draft capital for multiple years of Aaron Rodgers. That's awesome. He also says he's going to be attending as many voluntary offseason practices as possible, which is also great to see because with Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers didn't go to those voluntary spring practices. He said he didn't like throwing the football in the spring with Green Bay. And then the very next day, after he gets introduced to the New York Jets, he's on the practice field, and he's been there since. It's just great to see that Aaron Rodgers wants to do these things with the New York Jets. He also said it was the New York Jets or retirement, or, said something around the lines. So Aaron Rodgers just really wanted to be a New York Jet, and that makes my heart happy, and it should make all of you Jets fans happy as well. He also talked about why he's not going to be wearing number 12 with the New York Jets, even though Joe Namath gave him his permission. And, the reason why he doesn't want to wear 12 is because 12 is Broadway Joe with the New York Jets. And it's just great to see that Aaron Rodgers is recognizing that, know that 12 is just an iconic number for the Jets. And while I wouldn't mind him wearing him, he knows some fans might and just respects that. So he is going to be wearing his college number 8 with the New York Jets. And the final thing I'm going to end on is what he said about Zach Wilson. So, of course, we all know Zach Wilson made the comments, whoever the new quarterback is, I'm going to make their life hell in practice. Well, Aaron Rodgers said he's going to make my life hell in practice, but I'm going to make his life heaven off the field. And it shows that Aaron Rodgers is trying to commit to this team as much as possible, trying to give as much as he can to the New York Jets, whether that be on the field or mentoring Zach Wilson, which is our quarterback plan for whenever Aaron Rodgers retires. So we better hope Aaron Rodgers does a good job mentoring Zach Wilson, as he hopefully does on the field, so whenever he eventually leaves, Zach Wilson can take on this role and, give the New York Jets at least solid quarterback play, so we're not stuck in quarterback purgatory once again. There's also been reports that the New York Jets and Quan Alexander might get a deal done soon. Rich Cimini tweeted out on Tuesday that the New York Jets and Quan Alexander have been staying in touch, and he says that they may re-sign after the NFL draft. Drew Douglas also said that he's not closing the door on potentially re-signing Quan Alexander, and Alexander has been hinting at a New York Jets return on a social media, retweeting fans saying he will be back and posting on his Instagram story in a Joe Namath shirt. On Wednesday, the New York Jets cut longtime running back Ty Johnson in a very surprising move. Now, we didn't just cut Ty Johnson. We released him with an NFI designation, non-football injury list designation. So Ty Johnson, I want to say, is still on the New York Jets, just on the non-football injury list. So whatever he did, he injured himself off the field. Hope Ty Johnson is doing well, but that's why the New York Jets cut him. Not because we were drafting a running back in this year's NFL draft, but because Ty Johnson hurt himself probably pretty severely off the field, so I hope Ty Johnson is doing okay. And the last piece of Jets news that happened before the NFL draft was the re-signing of long snapper Thomas Hennessy. We extended him to a 4-year deal. It's great to see that one of the best long snappers in the game is back with the New York Jets for at least another 4 years, and Hennessy is also our longest tenured New York Jet. He's been on the team since 2017 and has started 98 consecutive games with the team. So it's great to see Thomas Hennessy is back with the New York Jets. Now, moving on to the 2023 NFL Draft. So the New York Jets made 7 picks in this year's draft, and here's the 7 picks we made. Starting off with our first round selection at pick 15, we took Will McDonald, edge rusher from Iowa State. Round 2, pick 43, we took Joe Tippmann, center from Wisconsin. Round 4, pick 120, we took Carter Warren, tackle from Pittsburgh. Round 5, pick 143, we took Israel Abanikanda, running back from Pittsburgh as well. Round 6, pick 184, we took Zaire Barnes, linebacker from Western Michigan. Round 6, pick 204, we took Jarek Bernard-Converse, defensive back from LSU. And at pick 220 in the 7th round, we took Zach Kuntz, tight end from Old Dominion. Now, I broke down the drafting of all of these players below, so if you want to check out my thoughts on the picks, you can, just find them on my channel. They're like the newest videos I made. I didn't do a breakdown of Zach Kuntz, though, and what you need to know about him is that he's a freakishly athletic tight end, one of the most athletic tight ends to ever play the game. He didn't really produce a whole lot at Old Dominion, but that was because of injuries and whatnot, but the athleticism is there, and he can hopefully develop into a nice player, and definitely someone worth taking a 7th round flyer on. So what are my overall thoughts on the NFL draft? I thought the New York Jets did a fine job this year. I mean, we didn't get a whole lot of impact now players, but that wasn't the goal heading into this year's NFL draft. We already had most of our rosters figured out, and this draft was solely meant to get depth pieces and guys for our future, and Joe Douglas did exactly that. Overall, I would give the New York Jets a B grade for this year's draft, and a lot of fans are mad at Joe Douglas for this draft, saying, oh, he's overrated, but I feel like a reason why so many people are frustrated with this draft is because of the expectations the New York Jets set for themselves after last year's draft, where we got the offensive and defensive rookie of the year and had 4 picks within the top 40, no picks after round 4, while this year we had 1 pick within the top 40 and more than half of our draft picks were after round 4. So it was just a very different draft in terms of where we were picking, so the results are going to be different, and I feel like a lot of Jets fans just didn't realize that. So overall, this was a solid draft for the New York Jets. And moving on to, we signed in undrafted free agency. So we signed quite a bit of guys, so this is going to be a pretty long list. Starting off with linebacker Malik Hall from Southeastern Oklahoma State, linebacker Claudin Chilese from Arkansas State, Caleb Johnson, linebacker from Miami, Travis Dye, running back from USC, Khalif Halisi, cornerback from Western Kentucky, E.J. Jenkins, tight end from Georgia Tech, Jason Brownlee, wide receiver from Southern Miss, Xavier Gibson, wide receiver from Stephen A. Austin, T.J. Luther, wide receiver from Gardner-Webb, Marquise Waters, defensive back from Texas, Deslin Alexandre, defensive lineman from Pittsburgh, Trey Dean III, safety from Florida, Brent Lang, offensive lineman from Minnesota Duluth, Derek Langford, cornerback from Washington State, and Caleb Taylor, linebacker from Nebraska. And that's all the Jets news that happened from April 23rd to April 29th. What is your takeaway from this week's news? Sorry for posting the weekly roundup a bit late. It was busy Saturday night, busy Sunday, so this is the only time I had to make the video. What are you guys' thoughts on this week's news? Comment it down below. Thoughts on the video, comment it down below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm Joe Stewart, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.